Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Becoming Her. Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. I am so sorry that I think I'm like a day late, but things happen, life happens, and I'm here now. so, I today's episode is talking about having to be okay with people not clapping for you, for people that you expect to have certain reactions to you winning, people that saw you fail and were rooting you on, and then you think that they're going to clap or they're going to be happy, and they're just, it's not even, sometimes they're not clapping, sometimes they're just silent, or they're acting weird, and you have to be okay with that. I really learned that recently with me because a lot of great things that I worked really hard for has happened recently for me. And I got a new job. I finished up. I got a new I got a new degree. I got licensed, and I walked into a whole new path that I never thought I would be able to get in so easily. And a lot of people didn't know how to take it. A lot of people who were rooting me on, all of a sudden when they saw I actually made it, they were acting weird. They used to say, "Oh my gosh, Raina, I can't wait until you get here. I can't wait until you can do these things. I can't wait." And then it happens, and it's like, "Why are you not happy for me?" There's people who got sick of celebrating me. And I was so confused by that because I've been so humble throughout this whole journey. I haven't really been telling people about the things that I have going on in my life or what I was doing or when I was building. But everything kind of settled, and I got to the finish line with everything all at one time. It was my birthday. I got my degree. I got licensed. I got a new job. And that was all in December. And people got tired of celebrating me. I was like, whoa, because everything was coming one after another, and I was like, wow. And I'm not talking about like I was expecting everybody to celebrate with me. I'm talking about like close friends, family. They just got sick of it, and I was like, wow. Like, you could work hard, but doesn't mean everybody's gonna, like, even those that you thought were really gonna care. It doesn't mean that they're gonna care. So that was a pill that I had to swallow for myself. Like, learning to not get validation, even from those that you kind of were expecting validation from. Because me, I'm not a person that expects to have validation but from the world, but from my close circle, you better validate me. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes you got to give people time to also adjust to the transition. So let's talk about that. So, one thing nobody prepares you for when you're becoming her is the silence. Not everybody will be happy for you. Not everybody will understand what's happening in your life. And some of the people you expect to clap the loudest, they won't clap at all. That is where it gets tough, it gets hard, you get confused. You don't even know whether you should even be celebrating your wins anymore. You don't know what to do with those reactions. So let's talk about how we assume. We always assume that friends will be excited, right? We assume that families will understand. And we assume that people who watched you struggle will celebrate you. You know that saying that when you assume you make it out of yourself? Sometimes that's what it is. But growth but growth changes dynamics. Some people were comfortable rooting for you when you were down here or when you were at a certain level. You were palatable for them. But as you grow, as you're becoming her, you become less palatable for them. You're less of somebody they can clap for. Now you're too successful or too high, or you've actually gotten to where you're at. And now they don't know how to be around you. They don't know how to treat you. They don't know how to act with you. The dynamic has changed. Now they don't know how to see you win. And success kind of forces people to confront things. They have to confront their own stagnation. their own timelines, their own unhealed feelings. So you might think that like they're acting like this towards you because maybe they don't care or they hate you, but really what they are is they're having to face their own demons. Demons that they probably were hoping to never have to face, or they were trying to bury, and now they're forced to face them. Like, no, I've been stagnant. I haven't healed some things. My timeline isn't working the same way, but that's something that they have to work through by themselves. That's for them to stand in, them to deal with. Not that you shouldn't have to take responsibility for that. You should let them deal with what they need to deal with. And sometimes instead of clapping, they go quiet. And you need to be okay with the silence from them because you didn't do it for them. If you were making your whole life for other people, it's not your life, is it? Right? So you got to move on. So sometimes the silence can hurt more than the hate. Silence feels personal because you trusted these people. You included them in your journey, but silence doesn't equal dislike. It doesn't mean like they hate you. You know, that's not automatically what it is. So don't go straight to thinking that these people hated you. Sometimes it's just now they're forced to face the demons that they were trying to run away from. So don't take it automatically as like, oh, they dislike me or whatever. No, it actually has little to do with you. That's the surprising part. Silence often means confusion, comparison, insecurity, emotional distance they don't know how to explain. This one is so true because I remember sometimes I have feelings that I have to sit with and understand what they are. Sometimes I'll sit with a feeling and be like, Raina, I think that was jealousy. Or, Raina, I think that was this. Sometimes I'll have a weird feeling in my gut and I don't really know how to label it yet. So sometimes these people haven't even uncovered, you know what, that's insecurity. You know what, that's a hater. It's winning season, baby. So not everybody knows how to process your growth when it reminds them of what they haven't done yet. And humbleness is always important, but also don't humble yourself to the point where you are not celebrating yourself. Because you did hard work. You did things that were not easy for you. Yes, they weren't easy for others, but they were also not easy for you. And you did the hard work and you're here now. So don't let anybody make you feel like you can't celebrate that. Because you deserve to celebrate that because it wasn't easy for you to do. So the hard truth is you cannot shrink to make people comfortable. So if they're uncomfortable, you know what? Let them deal with that themselves. You're not their mama. You're not like their caretaker. You're not somebody that's supposed to hold their feelings. We go through seasons in life, right? And if God has given you this season to win, you better soak that up because you don't know what the next season's going to be. You know, like I'm not saying that I'm wishing anything bad on anybody, but when it's your winning season, you better be happy for that winning season because how about if it becomes the next person's winning season? You want to be able to clap for that person and know that you soaked in all of your winning season and you're happy for yourself. And you know that you celebrated yourself properly to the full extent. So now you're able to really immerse yourself in the happiness for another. Instead of becoming resentful because you were humble, right? You didn't really truly get excited for yourself and now you feel some type of way about this other person and now seeing their winning season because you didn't really get to fully immerse yourself in your winning season. You get what I mean? So feel that. You cannot delay your becoming so others don't feel left behind. I love that I wrote this in my notes because recently it's been like I've been trying to slow down the amount of things that have been happening around my life just because I felt like, oh my gosh, it's just so much. And I'm seeing the reactions of people and I'm seeing the silence and I'm seeing the jealousy sometimes in the evil eyes that I feel like, you know what? It makes me feel like sometimes scared to continue to grow, scared to continue to blossom, scared to continue to do great things It makes it scary. And I have to remind myself that, like, no, I'm not gonna delay myself. Right now, if this is the season that God wants me to win, I want to win. And as uncomfortable as it is, some people talk about how uncomfortable it is to struggle, right? But sometimes when you're born in the struggle, it's more uncomfortable to win. Yeah. There's I remember when I was younger, I was talking to somebody, and there was this old lady that we know of. And, well, I think there was two old ladies. There was one old lady who she divorced her husband, and there was another old lady who she stayed with him until he died for like 50 years, and he cheated on her. He had like a million, like not a million. He had like 12 kids out of wedlock, and she stayed with him through the whole thing. And it was like embarrassment throughout embarrassment. And I said to, I don't remember if I was talking to my grandma or if it was just a woman. I said to this woman, I'm just going to say this woman, why wasn't she strong enough to leave? And this woman told me, actually, there's two different types of strength. There's a strength to leave, and there's a strength to stay and deal with all of that. Like, it hurts. Both hurt. You have to choose your hurt. I feel like there can be uncomfortability in both. There can be uncomfortability in struggle, but there can also be a lot of uncomfortability, weird, sad, lonely feelings in winning. And I've been having to feel a lot of that too. Obviously, I'd rather be winning than struggling. I think we say that sometimes, but then we hold ourselves back when we start to win because we're so comfortable with, we know struggle, we don't know winning. And that's what I've been having to combat lately. Like, hey, don't sabotage this. Hey, don't hide. Hey, don't stop the momentum. You need to still keep going. Don't go back to what you're used to. Go towards the great things that you see that can come for you right now. So becoming her will kind of cost you your familiarity. Oh, Jesus. Nothing familiar is familiar for me anymore at all. Everything kind of changed all at once. It's like once I elevated into this new job, this new space or whatever, my friendships kind of changed. It was kind of like, I don't want to say it. Some people got tired of celebrating me. Like I said, everything came all at once. My birthday, the degree, the licensing, the new job. So, you're celebrating one after another. And then the claps get quieter and quieter. And then eventually people were mad for no reason. And that happened in my friendship. And I was so uncomfortable, and I kept on feeling like I had to like chase and apologize and make people feel comfortable. And then I had to remember I can't continue to shrink myself for others, and that sometimes I can't chase these people, and I need to give them time to rake through their feelings of what they're feeling right now so that they can independently label that. Because I know that I was so humble throughout this whole journey, and I didn't talk to nobody about all the things I had in works, which is why everything, when it came all at once, everybody was so confused. They didn't know where it came from. They didn't even know I was working on these things. So I think that's where the confusion comes from, but also the happiness, but also the underlining feelings of, So the familiarity that I had with my friends disappeared. The familiarity I kind of had with my family kind of disappeared because I think everybody kind of saw, the things that I did accomplish this year. And there was family members that every year they wish me a happy birthday. They didn't wish me a happy birthday this year. I don't know what that's about. But I'm not going to take it too personal. I have to understand that I'm blessed and I'm grateful, and I need to be grateful and still be a loving person to those that are around me, whether they want to be loving towards me or not, you know? It's a weird dynamic. It's a weird feeling, but there's not much I could do about it. Um and even at work, now I'm in a whole new job. Actually, I'm not in a new job. I'm in a way higher position in the same building. So a lot of people who were my enemy had to see me elevate in front of them into a way higher position than to either become their equal or become above them. And a lot of them didn't know how to take it. You know how God says he prepares a table before you in the presence of your enemy, whatever. That legit happened to me. So that has been very awkward. Having to stay humble, know that you're the topic of discussion, but it's just been weird. Anything familiar is no longer familiar for me. It's not. It's not. Point blank. Um. So it may even cost you access, conversations, old versions of closeness. The people that are closer to me are my new people. That's the weird part. The people that are closer to me right now are people that are new in my life. Old people don't know how to talk to me, address me, be around me right now, which is really weird for me. I don't know. I know that I'm the same. I know that I'm the same person as yesterday, but sometimes people just don't know what to do with you. And they always say it's very lonely when you get to the top. I don't think I'm at the top yet at all, but I feel like with elevation, I feel the loneliness happening, and I don't really um I'm working through it. I'm working through it. It's difficult. And the hardest part, sometimes the people you expect to clap are the ones watching quietly from the sidelines. And you have to be okay with that. You really do. You just need to move on. So you must be okay with quiet rooms, and you must be okay with unreturned energy, and you must be okay with uneven support. You need to be able to find support in different ways, find validations in different ways, be able to keep the momentum going. Don't slow yourself down. Continue to grow and not stop for others. Learn to celebrate yourself without an audience, you know, and learn to trust that the right people will find you. New rooms come with new applause. And that's what you need to start looking forward to. Sometimes as you transition and you see dynamics are changing, you see how uncomfortable people are with seeing you win. You now have to be open to being in rooms with different people who are also winning. Not because you only want to be with people who win, but because the people that you care about now don't know how to be around you. And you can't, like, loneliness cannot be your answer. You need to be able to continue to grow. You asked for it, you have to be willing to take it, you know? This is not something that came out of the blue. You were praying, hoping, and imagining this. So you can't just stop because other people are uncomfortable. You need to continue to grow. So learn to trust that the right people will find you. The new rooms will come with new applauses, and not everyone is meant to go with you to the next version of you. And that is the episode for today. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And like I always, I will see you next week. Bye.